Okay, hi everyone. I'm Daria Demyanova and I'm Korean language teacher. So I created this course, Korean Demi course, so that people all over the world can learn Korean. It's a video course, so that means that you can watch videos wherever you are at any convenient time. Also, just to be clear, I'm not native speaker, I'm not English native speaker, I'm Ukrainian. I want to apologize in advance for any grammatical mistakes or just mistakes in pronunciation or something like that. It might be a lot of them if I get nervous or something like that. There might be many mistakes, and I'd like to apologize in advance. So, okay, let's talk about what this lesson is about. This lesson it's about how to learn Korean in the right way. Not how to learn Korean, but about that. Also, we will talk about that, but about more like psychological aspect. How to learn Korean in the right way psychologically. If you're not ready, for example, to learn Korean, you can't study it well. And we will talk about that today. At our lesson, we will talk about that. What also will be included in this course, we will, build a house with the bricks, and these bricks are our lessons. So, first of all, we will study Hangul. It's Korean alphabet. It includes consonants, vowels, and diphthongs. What are the diphthongs? I will tell you at our third lesson. But also after lessons with rules, we will talk about reading rules, about how to make the sentence, and so on. And at our last lesson, it's 22nd lesson, we will talk about native Korean numbers. What are native Korean numbers and also senior Korean numbers? I will tell you all this information, and these knowledges, they will be like not as complicated as you might have thought. It's really easy. If I compare, for example, English or Russian or any other language, for example, Chinese language, then Korean is really easy language. It's more like more logical. It's like to build something. You just put something for any other something, and you put it on all the time, and this knowledge they give you like the whole like picture, and this helps you to understand Korean. This might help you also to understand what these people say and to say by your own. And we will get to know how to do that. We will study Korean. We will study new grammatic, new vocabulary, and so on. Okay, let's move on. Okay, what packages or like sets there are in this course? There are like solo and together package or set. It means that solo, it's your work with the video on your own variant. It means that you just watch video, you do your homework, and you can check it with the second video. For example, you look through first video, you're working with it, and then you can check on your own in the second video. You will understand like how does it work like, and if you choose Korean together, it's together set or together package. This means that you are not on your own. It's not solo work. It's work like in couples, or not like in couples, but in couple with a teacher. It means that that's always there is me, a teacher who can help you, who can correct all your mistakes and so on. And what does that mean? That means that okay, you have also one more package. I will tell you about that later, a little bit later. It's the same like Together package, but there are 3 individual lessons too. And about the Together package, it means that I check your home task and I will make you some more like correct and advice probably if it needs and so on. Okay. Okay. About with Demi package. Yep, it's the same like Together, but you have also 3 individual lessons. Every lesson is an hour and a half, and during these lessons you may ask me whatever you want. It might be about new grammatical questions. If you don't understand some information or you're not sure about is it right or not, is it correct or not, you can ask me during these individual lessons too. And okay, who the course creator? It's me. You already know my name. Some information about me. It's not as short as it might be, but okay. Teaching experience 5 years. I have a master's degree in Korean philology. I have studied in Korean university and in Ukrainian university. Where I work now, I work in Kiev National Linguistic University, KNLU, as Korean language teacher now. I have been graduated from this university too, and also I've studied at exchange students program at Hannam. It's Korean University in Daejeon, Hannam University. Okay, what else? Last year, I completed teacher training in Korean. It was at Keimyonde 학교, Keimyon University, and well, also I was prize winner of Korean competitions in Korea. It was about like oral speech competition and so on. Well, after completing this course, you will be able to, okay, you will read and write in Korean. If you know Hangul, you can read and write, make your own sentences. Yeah, if you know some grammatic, like basic grammatics, you can make your own sentences. It's not about like write sentences that you have heard from any other people. For example, 안녕하세요, or maybe 만나서 반갑습니다, 처음 뵙겠습니다, 언제 만날까요, and so on. It's like it's more like static, you know, like static phrasal phrases, and you don't need a lot of grammatic knowledge in order to like make these sentences. It's just like static sentences. But if you want to say something new, to create your own sentence, you have to know grammatics. You can't avoid it anyway. And for example, if I want to say something in English, I can just say like, I don't know even how I can say something without knowledge. Yep. So in Korean, the situation is the same. You have to know something, some grammatics, some vocabulary, some grammar rules, and so on, to create your own or make your own sentence. Well, also you will master all the basic knowledge. Yep. We have already talked about that. What else? You will understand easy Korean dialogues and you'll be able to understand the answer to your Korean friends. Yep, sure you can if you know, I'll repeat, if you know some grammars, vocabulary, and you understand some easy sentences, you will understand also your Korean friends who are speaking in Korean to you. And master a good vocabulary. There will be lots of so many new words, and you have to study them, because you can't avoid this, unfortunately. And let's continue. Well, okay. About what do you need for studying. It's really important, and it's more like the beginning of the psychological aspect. Why do you need it and what do you need? Okay, there are three things: workbook for notes and homework, your homework, grammar book, and notebook for the dictionary. It's compulsory, and there are three things that you have to get, or if you have to use that. Workbook for notes and homework. It's a big notebook that you will make your home task and your homework there. It's really big book, you know, not like thin, but like thick homework notebook. The grammar book might be like small notebook. For example, I have such one. I don't know whether you can see that well. It's a small notebook, and I have begun it maybe 7 years ago, and there are still some places to write in. So the small grammar book might be okay. And the last one, it's notebook for the dictionary. Again, it's thick book. You'll write your vocabulary in the front, for example, like here. If it's thick book, you will write here your vocabulary, and here will be phrases. Yep. Why it's necessary, why it's compulsory, I will tell you a little bit later. Well, how not to quit studying. There are so many cases I know from my teaching career. I know a lot of cases when people just begin their studying and they quit studying. How not to quit studying? What can we do for that? Okay, first of all, the first one is set the goals and break time into sub-goals. For example, to pass the exam by July 19. What does it mean? Set the goal. For example, you're not just studying Korean just because you like Korea, or just because you like Korean culture, something like that. You have to understand what the goal is, and then you have to set that goal and then break it into sub-goals. For example, I have a big goal. Big goal, for example, what can it be? For example, to go to Korea. This summer. Okay, I have a big goal. Then I have to break it into sub-goals. What should I do in order to go to Korea this summer? What can I do? I can pass the exam. I can buy tickets. I can learn Korean to third degree, and so on. I can, for example, get TOPIK. TOPIK is the test of proficiency in Korean. It's like international exam So if you wanna to study in Korea or work in Korea, it's rather better for you to pass this test. Okay, you have a big goal and sub goals. The second one is choose a motivation depending on the goal. Okay, for example, your goal is dramas understanding. You want to understand dramas, Korean dramas, and your motivation is dramas. Of course it is. For example, my goal is to go to Korea again. And what is my motivation? My motivation might be like videos with Korean bloggers. My motivation might be what might it be? Well, for example, my motivation also might be understanding Korean songs, Korean dramas, and so on. If I wanted to live in Korea or if I want to go to Korea, I have to understand Korean speech. So my motivation, first of all, is dramas also. Okay. The second, not the second, but the third one is choose days and time for lesson. You know it's really important. If you miss classes, you don't have to blame yourself. Okay, what does that mean also? If you don't choose days and time for lessons, you will skip the lessons or just you will, in the end, you will quit studying. Believe me. If you have like special or not like special, if I choose, for example, the time and the day for lessons, it's more like I know that it's my Korean time, and that's all. Other people, they wouldn't interrupt you. They might, but if you tell them that it's time for your Korean lessons, they will also know not to interrupt you, and you will have your own time for studying. For example, I want to study Korean and I have free time every week. For example, on Monday and for example on Saturday. And it's time between 3 and 4 p.m. It's okay. There are 2 hours a week. It's okay for you. As for beginner, it's okay. That's all. That's the third one. The fourth one is ask yourself, why do I need to achieve the goal? And answer it honestly. Honestly is the most important word. Why do I need to achieve the goal? If you don't ask yourself, if you don't reply yourself about this question, you wouldn't like understand why are you studying. You just you do all these first, second, and third thing, and if you don't understand why are you doing that, the fourth one important thing is that you'll just also quit studying. Why do I need to achieve the goal? Okay, how can I answer this? Why do I need to achieve the goal? I have to achieve the goal because I want to go to Korea, for example. I want to achieve the goal because I wanna, I don't know, marry Korean guy. Or probably to go to BTS concert. Probably I want to, for example, work in Korean like office. Work or study in Korean university, and so on. It's your honest answer to yourself. Okay. The fifth one, warm up your interest in Korean with different materials, visualize the achievement of the goal, and find what inspires you. It's also really important. It's not the most important thing, but it will help you and it will help you more like psychologically. interest, what can warm up your interest in Korean? It of course depends on you and depends on your what you like in Korean, what you like in Korea. For example, as for me, I like Korean culture, I like Korean food. What can warm up my interest in Korean is, for example, Korean dramas. I'm not a fan of Korean song. Okay, I'm not like a fan. I'm more like not army. But I really like Korean dramas. I've seen lots of them, and I still look lots of them. So, well, what can warm up my interest? It's about dramas and about some Korean foods. Also, like Korean notes, like Korean pencils. They're so cute and nice, and I really like it, and it inspires me. But what about you? What inspires you? You have to answer this question also by yourself. Well, the sixth one makes the process of learning a pleasant ritual. Um, what does it mean? If it's pleasant ritual, like not ritual, more like atmosphere at your home, in your room. If there are lots of, I don't know, lots of like pleasant scenes, for example, nice notebooks, cute scenes, maybe what else? Like, you can even download lots of Korean houses pictures from the Pinterest, for example, and put it on your wall. And this will also make you some nice atmosphere, and you will love Korea and Korean more. And this will help you to learn Korean. You will understand why are you studying. It will help you again more like not like physically, but more like psychologically. Well, and the seventh, take regular breaks during the lesson. Don't even try to learn everything at once. It's a bad idea. Really, it's a bad idea, and I'll explain you why. For example, you have a dream or the goal. Before the summer, for example, I wanted to get I don't know, scholarship program. I can do that because, for example, I don't have sixth level of the topic, for example, and I began to study a lot. My thoughts are, I'm studying hard, so I'll get to know more. No, it doesn't work like that. Why? Because your memory, it's not like non-limited. It has its own limited. Your memory, it's like about 30 words a day, or some people might remember, for example, 60 words a day. Or if you're a genius, you can remember maybe 100 words a day, and it's maximum. It's really maximum. Why? Because the next day you will remember only, for example, 30%. So if you have studied 100 words, you will remember only 30 words. But if you have studied 30 words, you will remember maybe 25 words, because the quality of this process is higher. You got it? I hope you got it. If you know, I remind you that you can write me anywhere, wherever you want, wherever you can. It might be your Facebook or Instagram or some other resources. Well, Really, I'm sorry. Frankly speaking, I'm really nervous. I even hear my voice is like this. I don't know how to say it in English, so I'm trying to explain you this by using all words I know, but there are like not as well vocabulary as it might be. Okay, so really sorry if you don't understand my pronunciation, or if you don't understand some things I have told about, so really sorry in advance, and sorry for that. Okay, and the last one, it shouldn't be too late. Okay, the seventh point was about don't hurry up. The eighth, it's about don't be delayed. I guess it's clear, and we can move on. Hey. Okay, memory for a language learning psychology. It's about memory. The first point is one restore a smart person effect or isolation effect. What it is? Okay, von Restorff was a man who have invented this effect. Now you can know that, like, isolation effect. What is it? When you're writing down words and grammatical constructions, you can highlight them with a marker, or you can underline them. For example, you have a word, for example, I don't know, note. You have a word, and there are many other words, for example. And what you have to do in order to remember this, you can underline or highlight it also. Highlight is not as well, but underline it's better, I guess so. For example, it's what can you do? Why you do that? Because the isolation effect helps to your memory to more like highlight some information, and your memory is concentrating for that word. If I have it, for example, here, you can also see that there are lots of words that I not like words but grammatical forms, but anyway they're underlined, and they're underlined and highlighted also, both of them. Yep. So it helps me when I see in general for this list of grammatics, I can see that there are some underlined, and I will focus on them. Well, what else? You can put a word in the general list of words of the one topic which doesn't apply there at all. For example, I have a list of some terms, for example. Maybe it's even language terms, for example, grammatic, punctuation, stylistic, and so on. And then I just put one word that is out of topic. For example, I don't know, kitchen. It's not language term, but I will remind it and remember it because it's out of this word list. It's outside. So it will really help you to like highlight these words faster and remember these words with a little effort. Okay. The next one is about generation effect. Generation or generalization effect. What does that mean? After studying some words and grammar, be sure to consolidate them by making a few sentences or writing an essay. What can I do and how? For example, you studied today maybe 10 words or 12 or 20 words, and you have written them down, you have learned them, and then what can you do? You can, for example, what can you do? You can make or create some sentences with them. You can make a story with them. For example, I have studied or learned by heart maybe such words like today, yesterday, tomorrow, or for example, I have studied maybe numbers from 1 to 10, and I can make a story with an hours. At 8 o'clock I waked up, and for example later at 9:30 I had breakfast, and so on. You can make a story, you can create some sentences. You will use your generation effect in this way. Well, also, you can try keeping a personal diary. In Korean, it's more complicated, but it's not about using like difficult or complicated things. You can use easy grammars. You can use easy words. You can use also words that you have learned some days ago, for example. It really helps you. Sorry. It might help you in studying the words. Believe me. The next one is mnemotic. Mnemotic, it's about associations. I really like association because we use it and it's the really easy way to learning some new vocabulary by heart, and how you can use these associations. You can both associate the word itself and how it sounds. For example, to, for example. What else? In English, it's a little bit difficult for me to think, but if English is your if you're a native English speaker, it's more easy for you to understand how it works. I will explain you how picture associates with the word. For example, we have ot. Ot in English, it's like cloth. It looks like a man, little man. Yep, hands, legs, the head. You know, it's a little man, and you can study these words like clothes for a little man. You remember clothes for little man. Little man will associate with the form. How does it look like? And you will remember that clothes is a translation for this word. Or for example, one. One, it's skin. One, how it sounds. It sounds kin and one. Wanna for me associates one. Associates for me with wanna. Wanna, one, wanna. You see, it's like similar. And what can we? How we can create a new association? For example, kin. What can you usually do? He wants. He wants something, and kin wanna something. Also, you can remember it by kin. It's a translation of the verb, of the word, sorry, and one it's associated with wanna. You can make your own associations. They might be better than these because they're like usual association that I use for explanation, but you can use your own. You can create more like logical and more easy for you to remember, and it's just time to create new associations. Well, what's the next slide? The second one. Oh, okay. Use all types of your memory and repeat info at least 5 times. There are some different types of memory. There are mechanical, when you touch something, for example, or feel something, and you remember this information. Auditory, it's when you listen something. For example, you listen the radio and you are studying the words by heart. You can also use visual information when you read the text, and you can notice it for you, so you can visually remember some information. And haptic, it's about tactile kinesthetic. Mechanical, it's more like haptic, something like that. More like tactile, it's for example, kids, they're haptic because they study with gaming. For example, they're touching the ball and they can remember something. They can study with the games. So the kids, they're haptic, and this is how do they remember new information. Okay, whatever type of perception you have been leading, for example, your auditory, I am, for example, visual, and anyway, it's more useful for you to use all types of memory. For example, I have written the word. I'm studying it. I see this word. Also, I can use auditory memory. I can repeat this word. For example, note. Note means la la la. And what you can do then? You can use also mechanical. It's complicated to find how to use it. Type of the memory. Also haptic, it's a little bit complicated to understand how we can use it, but auditory and visual are the most useful, and we can see the word, repeat the word, and we will study it by heart. Well, okay, to do this, write down the words and grammars, pronounce them aloud, listen to various listening sessions, okay, watch dramas, of course, dramas is about auditory. If dramas is with subtitles, it's combo, because there is auditory and visual type of memory. It's the best variant. Well, listen to songs. Also, there is combo when you listen to the song and you can see their lyrics. It's really nice situation, and it really helps you to memorize your new information. Well, visually represent a written word or grammatical structure. Okay. And what I want to add to this information, it's why we have to repeat info at least 5 times. Why 5 times? Because at the first time we just see the information and repeat it. For example, I study new words. I just look through them at first, and I will remember only maybe, as I'm not mistaken, maybe 20%, something like that. If I repeat it at the second time I will remember 40%. If I repeat it again and again, I will remember 60, 70 or 100%. So the most important thing when you're studying some new information, it's about repeat it at least 5 times. If you can repeat it more, it's good. If you can't repeat it more than 5 times, it's okay. You don't need to do that. 5 times it's okay. And what about how to repeat? Not like read. Okay, I have some words. You just repeat the word and you're thinking at the same time about some other things. No, it's not about that. It's about when you're concentrated for this information, when you not only repeat the word, but also you use all these previous slides. I mean, associations maybe about generation effect, consolidation effect, and isolation effect also. And it's really good if you can use all of these things. Okay, let's continue. I guess there is one more slide, but it isn't. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this lesson, this video lesson. I hope you will continue with us studying more new grammars, more new vocabulary, and I'd like to tell you that Korean is a really nice language. I hope we will study it together. You will go through these all videos together with us, together with me. I hope I could really help you with all your questions, all your complicated things and so on. I always try to help my students in explaining them how it works, in explaining them some new information. If I'm mistaken sometimes in English or with my pronunciation, you can also correct it. I will really up to this, and I hope to see you again at our lessons. Well, see you later and have a good day or night. See you.